So today on DIY Willy, we're back with the mighty Moto mini bike. So I've made the spacers. I've already got the spacers in the front installed. I'll show you that right now. I got to install the ones in the back. I'm changing to the shorter 10-inch axle rather than the 11-inch axle that I had. The 11-inch was too long. Definitely the 10-inch was too long for the front. So I think the 10-inch axle on the back will be perfect. Okay, so let's get the spacers in. It's a little interesting to put it in. I might try to get a little more clearance around the hardware. I'll give it a quick little zap with the file. Maybe there's some high and low spots in there that are catchy. All right. All right, so I thought the 10-inch axle would work, but as you can see, there's clearly not enough threads in there to tighten it up. So it'll have to be the 11-inch axle, and well, it'll just have to be a little bit long, I guess. So I'll get this one out and I'll put the 11-inch back in. So here is the brake caliper and the sprocket with the spacers all installed, and I gotta say it's really good looking. I like it a lot. Should have enough clearance here for the chain to come through. You know, sprocket looks good. The disc looks good. I think maybe I should have went with a larger disc, but we'll find out. You can see I had to use spacers. Basically, they're nuts to space out the rotor from the wheel. I did the same on the sprocket. And this was per Go Power Sports example. As you know, this build is based off one of the builds they have on their channel or on their website. So anyway, what we're gonna do now is try to fit up the brake caliper. Brake caliper's got to fit somewhere in there, like that. So right now it's sitting on this one, on this bracket. I don't like that. I want to make another bracket. So I've got a flat bar here. I'm going to use this flat bar to get the shape of the caliper, and then grind it in and make it fit into the frame. This will be the first modification I do to the frame other than drilling the holes. This is the main modification I'll do. So this flat bar is looks like 3/16 by what, 2-inch maybe, and it should hold that caliper just fine. So yeah, let me get started on marking it out. So here we go. The first modification to the frame of our mighty Moto mini bike. The first modification to our frame for our mighty Moto mini bike. I need to cut off this existing brake tab because I've built my own bracket to mount the caliper. I just need to put the spacers on, but now I need to measure where they go, and I need this tab gone. It doesn't work with that tab in there. So let's get this out of the way, see if we can cut that tab off. Now with that gone, we can kind of get in here and see how this goes on here. Here we got all this room now to move the caliper. Looks like we'll be putting it about there. Okay, so you know how I was gonna make, let me see where you're at. Okay, so you know how I was gonna make these parts here that would bring the engine down. It was supposed to bring the engine down to here. This was gonna be the mounting point for the engine. Well, it'll work, and I was ready to do it, but it's just a lot of work that it's gonna take a lot of fabrication that I'm kind of excited to get this thing going, and I don't want to do. So I was busy on other things this week and didn't really have the time to fabricate it. So I just went and ordered one of the adjustable engine plates from GoPro Sports, and it just arrived. So let's take a look. So it's gonna go in. It says front. It goes Power Sports. It's gonna go like here. Be able to slide down to the same position that I was doing. It also gives the engine a little bit of flexibility going in or out this way as well. To help me line up that rear sprocket with the clutch. So I'm excited this is here. This is basically what I was trying to build. So yeah, I might as well just install it now. Put the engine in and see how it looks. All right. So here's that plate installed, and yeah, it fit perfectly. Look at that. I do need to put the front bolts in still. They're not quite in yet, but as you can see, it's got some adjustment, and the sprocket will line up. I don't know how well you can see it, but that sprocket will definitely line up. I'm happy about that. Really happy. I was concerned about getting it lined up right. And the clutch fits. There's lots of room for the clutch, and to put the cover on it. The engine's up front, but it's got clearance too. That was the perfect purchase. I'm really happy with that. And this little bike is starting to come together. Really starting to come together. I've got the bracket made. I've got the bracket made now for the brakes. I just need to get that welded in. It's on the brakes right there. We'll kind of center it between the frame rails right there and weld it to the frame. And yeah, that looks good. I really like that. Thank you, GoPro Sports. That thing works perfectly. And it is even more adjustable than this. I can flip it around, or I can change its orientation to where most of the adjustments on that side, or most of it's on this side. I can even change to these holes here. I mean, it's very, very, very versatile. I'm really happy with it. And I still have that adjustment here and here to come back. So when I put the chain on, maybe I can tighten the chain up, or get the right amount of links in where I don't have to use the tensioner. I would really like that. So yeah, it looks good. I'm about to run out of battery on my GoPro, so I'll stop that right here. All right, so here I have my bracket for the brake. Let me see if I can get my light on that. Where's my light? So here I have the bracket for my brake. Yes, my welding is not the prettiest, but I'm still using flux core. I have this stuff to switch it over to gas, and I'll do that eventually. I just haven't done it yet. I want to use up my flux core wire. I had to make a little aluminum shim to space it out a little bit, like so that the bracket meets the frame and the caliper still is center on the rotor. So now I'm going to go ahead and install it. Get it tacked in, make sure it lines up, and weld it up. Alright, everybody, this is the next day. After working on the brakes, The brakes are done. They work perfectly. You can see dual piston caliper on the rotor. I had to weld the mount to the frame, 2 places, top and bottom. It looks good. I changed out my my shroud or my cooling, I don't know what you call them, cover, and bought this new red one. This one I had modified for the electric start, and I didn't want it there. Since I took the electric start off, I want it to be more back to original. However, I'm not going to use the kill switch on the front, but I'll find something to plug that. I believe I read somewhere that the electrical outlet plugs can plug that, so I'll probably look for one of those. I rotated my pull start back to where it pulls behind me, you know, so easier to pull than rather be pulling forward or straight up. Handlebars are on, everything looks good. Sprockets are done. You can just tighten up the axles. There's another look at the CVT clutch in there. I've got it all lined up. Sprockets aren't lined up at the moment, but they're really close. My exhaust comes in on Tuesday. Hopefully we'll fit under here and come out straight underneath the seat in the back. And brakes work. I have a new brake cable I'm going to put in that's about 20 inches shorter, so I don't have all this slack. You can see I have a lot of slack in it. A loop right here, and I don't want to have that, so I have that shorter cable to go on there that I haven't got on yet. And kind of cleaned up the motor a little bit. It is bolted in, it's solid, and it's ready to go. Uh-oh. I don't know what that is. I'll have to find out what that is. Probably the flywheel inside grinding on something. I'll figure it out. But yeah, next kill switch up there on top. It looks good. The mighty Moto is coming along. So I'll end this video here, and leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, a like, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next. Bye.